Hi, I'm Bob Mucci, Mucci Originals. I've been in the pool cue manufacturing business for 40 years. And with the aid of this little jewel, which we call the Myth Destroyer, which was developed here in 1999 and first seen, we've been able to develop a new product which we call the Black Dot Bullseye Shaft. And it is the most powerful, least deflecting shaft that's ever been made in this world. It's got a black bullseye to show you what the shaft looks like. And we're going to try it on many different brands that are recognizable to you in the industry. We're going to test those cues with their original shafts and then with the Black Dot shaft, and we'll be able to show you the incredible increase of technology, power, and the reduction in deflection that this Black Dot shaft will do for your favorite cue or any other brand. In fact, we're even going to go so far as to screw the Black Dot shaft on this brand of cue, which you can see. We've installed a 5/16 18 screw, so we can screw a Black Dot shaft on it and test it, and the results will be, I'm sure, quite eye-opening. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how this machine is put together and how it operates. We start the Black Dot shaft with 35 consistent white veneer pieces of hard rock maple that are bonded together at 200 pounds per square inch to guarantee a much more consistent flex time after time. Then after the moisture is stabilized down to 6 to 8%, we start turning the shaft, and over a 50-day period it's turned 9 times to give you the most consistent playing shaft in the world today. All right, first thing I want you to notice is the arm, the swing arm, which is the same as your elbow. In fact, it's been designed to be 18 inches or 1 cubit, same as the average arm from where the cue will be gripped to the center of the elbow joint, which is the only joint that should swing when you're making contact with the cue ball. Now then, you notice we have a spring that could be any any pull that you'd like it to be. It's a extension spring. In this particular case, it's providing a 10-mile-an-hour shot. Out over here, you'll see the way that the cue is being held is in a flexible rubber material that we clamp the cue into so that it doesn't mark any of the cues, and it's the same as if it were being held in your hand. Now here you see is the bridge, which takes the place of the human bridge. What we have here is we have a double V block that moves up and down to accommodate any dimension of shaft or any taper of shaft, but always keeping the shaft in the dead middle and dead in line. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and load a cue and show you how this works. We're going to put it through the butt end now. We're going to tighten it in a specified location, which means it will contact the cue ball at exactly the same height if every cue is installed from the tip to the specified location the same. You'll notice down at the bridge area that as the cue is being stroked, the bridge rises and falls to accommodate any change in taper. Of course, the Mucci shaft is known for very little change in taper, so you see it just barely moving up and down. We don't have much change, but this will accommodate even a English or carom type taper. All right, now you'll notice that there are feet that are against the ground. This has 4-point contact, 2 legs, and then up on the table, it's clamped to the table and up under the rail by 2 clamps. So there's 4-point contact on this machine, and you would have to turn the table over in order to move this machine. It is going nowhere. Okay, you'll note that we have the laser beam that splits the shaft right down the middle so that you know you're dead in line to where the cue ball is going to be driven by the cue. All right, you'll note that there's a very thin plate in which we locate the cue ball, and where the cue ball is going to be located to the left of the center of the shaft, which you can see where the center of the shaft is by the laser beam, and we place that into the small dimple, and the dimple guarantees that it'll always be in the same place that we're shooting the cue ball from. Okay, on down the table where the object ball will be placed, there's again another dimple with a very thin plate, and that we've located the object ball also 3/16 of an inch to the left. So we're hitting a perfect straight-on shot with right English 3/16 of an inch off center, slightly less than a half a tip. So now let's put it all together. With the cue ball being set offset to the left 3/16 of an inch, object ball the same, the first action is when the ball is struck off center to the right, it will deflect the cue ball off to the left is the first action. Then on the way down, because the back of the cue is slightly elevated to clear the back rail and it's spinning, we will get a slight swerve or a slight curve, which is a reduction of the deflection by virtue of the curve. Then, because the ball is being spun with right English at impact on the object ball, it will throw the object ball back to the left, yet another correction. So you have a deflection, a swerve, and then a throw, and the end result is going to drive the object ball against this NCR paper, which when is struck with anything leaves a mark, and it will mark precisely where that ball hit. In a perfect world with no deflection, it should hit 3/16 of an inch to the left, which is the center of the cue ball and the object ball, but it's not a perfect world, so we will measure how far off center the object ball will strike as a result of the cue ball deflecting. And this ruler has been placed here to measure the distance off center that it's actually struck. As you can see, it's in inches, with the zero line being right in the middle of the laser. So now we're going to go ahead and show you how that looks. All right, in this particular case, it should be very obvious that that ball hit right exactly 2 inches off center. So the end result of the deflection of the cue ball, swerve, and throw caused the object ball to be deflected 2 inches off course. Now we're going to go through multiple different cues and show you as they're tested with their natural shaft, original shaft, and then with a black dot shaft.